So my name's Slaviram Nets, and I'm one of the co-founders of StrataBlue. We're a full-service web design and digital media marketing company specializing in everything from website design and development, social media promotion, email marketing, search engine optimization, and paid online advertising. One of StrataBlue key industry verticals in the online marketing arena over the last 4 years has been restaurants. We've worked with well over 30 restaurants, and in the process have really honed our skills in carving out effective pathways to get our restaurant clients more bookings, more exposure, and more importantly, more revenue. We all like that. So this presentation will introduce you to some of the tactics we use with our restaurant clients who have been smart enough to partner with OpenTable online reservation network. Well, I'm sure you already have figured out that the customer data provided to you by OpenTable is of incredible value to your business. I'm here today to show you how you can increase the value to your business even more by leveraging it within your online marketing strategy. So let's get the show on the road. In his 1859 book, The Origin of Species, Charles Darwin published his theory of evolution, and in that book he concluded that it's not the strongest species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one that's most responsive to change. Now, you don't need me to tell you that the practice of marketing has changed dramatically in the last 5 years. So I ask you here today, are you adapting? The emergence of so many digital and social media tools, plus the increasing use of mobile devices by just about every demographic, means that today we have technology-empowered customers. In other words, digital and social elements now play a massive role in how people learn about, think about, engage with, and even how they advocate for your business. Not to mention social media now being on the forefront lines of your brand. They are now calling this the age of the customer, and people are just as much influenced by what their online contacts are saying and doing online as they are in traditional marketing tactics and traditional ad spends. If you're using OpenTable to allow for your customers to easily book their dining reservations with you, then you've taken a huge step. But if you're not taking advantage of all the data OpenTable makes available to you, then you're definitely leaving money on the table. So here's what we're going to talk about today. We just covered the major question of whether or not your restaurant is adapting and changing with the times in this new era of digital and social media. And next I'm going to share with you the results of some research on how restaurants are benefiting from social media marketing. After that, we're going to talk about the various goals that we at StrataBlue aim to accomplish for our current restaurant clients when we utilize their OpenTable data. That will also include a talk of the KPIs, which are key performance indicators, or essentially the metrics we use to measure success, since one of the biggest benefits of online marketing today is that everything is measurable. We'll also talk about some additional goals we can aim to achieve with our range of innovative social media tactics and strategies. Next, I'm going to give you a few tips on laying the foundation for great social media communication and content, so that you'll be ready to go with promotions you create based on your OpenTable data. We first want to make sure that you have your house in order, and this will include content tips as well as some key goals we have in our creative, valuable content that gets shared by your legions of fans. This will lead us into the talk of OpenTable, finally, right? That's why we're all here. To aim for the goals I cover, it will always help if you're using OpenTable to its fullest potential. So in the next part, I'm going to talk about the types of data you collect with OpenTable and how you can do a better job of it. I'll even give you some tips. And from then on, we'll talk about strategy. We'll talk about tactics for how you will leverage the data you collect via OpenTable. And some of those topics are going to include targeting custom audiences on Facebook, harnessing and leveraging the influence of your existing customers and fans, how you can track conversions, whether that's bookings or direct sales online, through social media, and through OpenTable, and how to better target any special promotions by leveraging certain key types of OpenTable data that we're hoping you're collecting. And then we're going to talk a bit about retargeting and remarketing and how that works. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up after that about more Facebook advertising opportunities with paid amplification. And that includes a discussion of another key goal you have for your social media marketing, and that's recruitment or finding new employees. I have an interesting case study example I'm going to show you too. And if you're able to stick with me until the end, I'm going to try and make it worth it for your while by offering you a free tip on how to direct more traffic to your actual website instead of OpenTable to save you some dollars there. So allow me to set the stage a moment with some recent research that was put out by Rice University's Jones Graduate School of Business with regards to social media and restaurants. Facebook fans make up 36% more visits each month to restaurants they are fans of. In addition, Facebook fans spend 45% more of their eating out dollars at those restaurants. And people who fan or like a restaurant's Facebook page do so because they already like the brand. Fans are also 41% more likely to recommend a fan product to their friends. And on average, fans spend an additional $71 on products for which they are fans compared to those who are not. And last, but most important, fans are 28% more likely than non-fans to continue visiting a restaurant. Some pretty powerful statistics there. So you realize social media plays an important role in growing your business, but do these thoughts sound familiar to you? I fell in love with cooking and running a restaurant, and that's all I want to do. I just want to run it. I'm successful because I know what to do well, and I just want to focus on what my business does best. And it's true. If you don't know what you're doing, you can waste a ton of advertising money and not get any profits. You probably said to yourself, yeah, my own staff knows my brand, and some have offered to handle our social media, but do they know the latest tactics that work? Honestly, you don't want to just let a social media enthusiast run your online marketing. For example, there's a sharp learning curve for Facebook marketing. Facebook marketing requires even a professional at least 10 to 15 hours a week of work if you're doing best practices. Even more if you're doing custom graphics and a lot of ads. That includes time for advertising, posting, and customer analysis. You can't rely on your own staff to be able to keep up in addition to their typical daily duties. So how do you cut through all the data and analyze what really matters? How do I get all this done and do everything I have to do to run my business? Well, quite frankly, the answer to all this is you have to trust the marketing to the professionals. As I said, there's a sharp learning curve for proper social media marketing. And it changes frequently. I mean, we're talking every 2 to 3 months. Tactics that worked yesterday don't necessarily work today. And if you're not on top of these changes and testing and tweaking and trying again over and over to see what really works, well, you're missing out. And at StrataBlue, we currently manage Facebook pages for dozens of restaurants, not to mention other types of businesses. So what's that allow us to do? It allows us to test and learn consistently. And that's the only way you can actually improve. We stay on top of the changes and know what works for other industries, what doesn't work, and we get to play trial and error without your marketing budget. In fact, let's look at what can be accomplished. So at StrataBlue, we're very goal-oriented, and we specialize in web analytics. That's making sure that we have specific goals in mind and how to measure our success. We're constantly monitoring our results, keeping tabs on our success rates, and optimizing strategies so they get our clients the most bang for the buck. If something isn't working, we can detect it right away and switch strategies. We have enough tools in our toolkit that if something isn't working, we can try another tactic. So here's some of the most common goals we've got for you. Decrease your OpenTable cost by driving online traffic to your website to make a reservation than OpenTable's website or mobile app. This is especially useful when you're thinking about opening that next location or you've got multiple locations already. We want to gain new customers and drive repeat business through the use of social media, content creation, optimization, and promotion. And more important, leverage the latest opportunities in targeted Facebook ads. Let's talk about driving direct sales of gift cards or products sold online. Enhance your customer loyalty and VIP programs. And take advantage of birthday and anniversary marketing to get more and more bookings. Let's amplify your positive reviews by press and even customers so your existing fans and potential new customers are sure to see them. And let's enhance your local listings on search engines to allow web searchers to find your restaurant location, your hours, your reviews, and up-to-the-date menus using local search listings and reputation management. Now, success is actually a double-edged sword. You know, we all work crazy hours. I don't get to see my family. Life becomes my work. And you never know when that 10-foot wave of success is going to hit you. It's an opportunity cost of time, and it's a never-ending list of to-dos outside of your current wheelhouse. You've got data glut, and honestly, your competitors are leapfrogging you socially. So if you don't manage the wave of success, it will crash and manage you. Let's start with messaging, reputation monitoring, and creating content that's shareable. We want your house in order first so that when the traffic comes flooding in, you have the right kind of content there to meet our long-term goals. So let's see how we can use social media to gain and maintain excited fans and followers so you can turn them into paying customers. And this holds true on other platforms too, like Instagram, Twitter. What you want to do is you want to build a small army of word-of-mouth advocates that market your restaurant for you. You want to identify your influencers and feed them the right kind of information so they're sharing it. You want to hold contests and reward your best fans. Here's an actual client of ours that had a guest with a negative experience. And it's important that we show this because everyone's going to get a negative experience. It's more important how you handle that negative experience. This particular client was able to respond within 30 minutes to the guest that had a negative experience and then turn that guest around to get them to come back in and try their establishment again. And that's very powerful. You want to keep your customers coming back time and time again without spending more money on additional advertising. I mean, let's think about it. You want to gain your best customers as fans on social media so that you can stay on top of mind and be there when they're next contemplating their next date night, anniversary, or just get together with friends. You want to connect and network with business partners and community members. There's a lot of restaurants that are purchasing from local purveyors or local farmers. You want to amplify that because the more that you connect to your local business next to you, the more that they're going to help you also in return. You want to also monitor your reputation and provide complaint resolutions, just like this example here from Joe. Do you know that one negative review can cost you up to 30 guests? You need to respond to your reviews immediately. And to do this, you need to be monitoring consistently. So here's some content tips. Consider the 80-20 rule. I'm sure everyone's well aware of your daily specials and how consistently you have a Wind Down Wednesday or Thirsty Thursday. What you want to do is actually use the 20% to amplify that promotion and 80% to talk about the events that are going on around your local area. Share some recipes or cooking tips. That one favorite dish everyone always raves about, go ahead and give a portion of the recipe out. Or engage people and make them name your next drink. What you want to also do is increase awareness on contests and giveaways and make sure that it's shared on other social platforms, not just Facebook, but think about Twitter and Instagram. And more important, you want to get your feedback on the service, events, and menu items that you're currently using. If you don't know if a certain event is working because you're not polling your guests, how do you know that next one is going to work? More important, let's consider your employees. They're the lifeblood of your business. And if you're not highlighting a particular employee or any employees at all, you're doing yourself a disservice. Okay, so you've got your profile established, you're gaining fans, you're posting on social media. Now let's show how OpenTable can take these efforts to the next level. Believe it or not, many restaurants still don't have the reservation link to OpenTable on their Facebook page. This is one example, and this is actually changing with Facebook as Facebook changes consistently. And Part of the free tip is I'm going to share with you how you can make this reservation link on all kinds of social platforms, including email. But this will save you 75 cents per seated guest. So OpenTable recently on their mobile app allowed you to share your recommendations with friends. I'm sure everyone's familiar with Facebook and Google logins. Instead of typing an email address and creating a password, now you can log in with your Facebook account. And what that does is that lets Facebook track what you're doing consistently across all different networks. Here we've got 3 different types of people, and they all have 3 different preferences, and they all think they're special. You have Allison, who's a housewife. She likes to go to restaurants with her family. She's a 55-year-old woman that would rather, have a family-type atmosphere. She's always going to ask for a recommendation from friends. Then you've got David, the entrepreneur that travels all over the country, spending 70% of his time going to cities he's never been to, and he always needs a recommendation. Then you've got the young hotshot Paul, but he's afraid to try new restaurants and have a bad experience, so he's always judgmental and asking his friends where they've been for a good experience. We're going to get to why this matters later, because as I've mentioned, your friends are going to help dictate the next restaurant that you're going to. So I'm pretty sure everyone's seen the OpenTable software and used it. OpenTable offers you the ability to collect a tremendous amount of guest data, and everyone wants to feel special. How many times have you heard, "Oh, I'm a friend of the owner," "Oh, I'm an investor," or "Oh, I'm a regular"? Well, without collecting some of this data, you're not going to be able to utilize it later. Most restaurants don't utilize any of the data they have to its fullest potential. And we're going to give you a couple of tips, and some of those are have your server ask more questions of your guest and record it on the order ticket to be added to the reservation book later. Even with a minimum amount of information, we can do a lot. But imagine if you collect even more data, how they like their beverages, the temperature of their meat, what they like, that they like the window seat only, or down to the simplest things like their birthday and anniversaries. If you're looking at this screenshot, you'll notice the guest codes that we put in here are they're a friend of the owner, they're an investor, they're a doctor. But do you see all the open areas that are missing? The birthday, the anniversary. And then below this, you can see an Excel sheet. We've actually exported some sample data, and this is just a small amount that OpenTable is collecting, and it's up to you to start increasing that data. You can see the email address that they want to be part of your email newsletters, the cell phone numbers, how many times they've actually canceled on you or a no-show, and more important, every time I talk to a restaurateur, they're telling me, "Oh, I know who my VIPs are." Well, as we're going to get to later, the reality is your customer base is exponentially increasing. And if you don't record how much they're spending or the average amount, you really don't know who that VIP is. A line I always like to use is men and women lie, but data doesn't. And if you're collecting that data, then you're ahead of everyone else. You can leverage all this data for customer loyalty. OpenTable gives you a tool, and how do we accomplish this? Yes, I know you're busy, but the reality is your hostess does have time at the end of the night to enter this information in. And we can also help you come up with an incentive plan to help your staff when they are entering that information in. We want to track and measure the results. Now, how can we leverage that data that I just showed you in your social media marketing? We can export all the phone numbers, and these can come from existing databases outside of OpenTable too, such as an email database that you export in a comma delimited CSV file. What we're then able to do is import those into Facebook and have Facebook run a search to try and match up as many of those emails and phone numbers with Facebook users who have either pieces of information on their profile. Why do we like to do this? Because these past or existing customers are going to be some of your lowest hanging fruit, or as we like to call them, like and engage with your page. And from there, I'm going to show you how in another slide you'll then be able to target the friends of those people. So if you gain them as a fan, you've just expanded your audience reach with your Facebook content to show those customers circles of influence. In other words, your reach expands exponentially. And you can leverage the influence of those people through sponsored story data to make that a bigger impact for you. And let me show you how that works. In 2011, Facebook announced that there's 3.7 degrees of separation. So if you have 50 friends, which happens to be more than all U.S. presidents in 2011, and you told all 50 of your friends, I just went to this new restaurant, it's fantastic, you know, the menu is nothing like I've ever seen, it reminds me of my trip overseas or to your favorite hole in the wall, wherever. Those 50 friends tell their friends, and now you have 8,170 people that have heard about your restaurant, which happens to be more than the Metropolitan Opera. Now, can you imagine if those 8,000 people then told all their friends? And you can see that third degree of separation right there. We've just now reached more than the population of Maine. And remember, this is in 2011. It's predicted that by 2015, it's going to be less than 2 degrees of separation, if not just a little bit more. I always like to call this P2P. Many people have heard B2B marketing or B2C marketing. The reality is you're not marketing to a machine, or you're marketing to a person. So that's why it's person-to-person marketing. What we can do is take that data and export it, and then we can start to create audiences based around that. So we're able to find out, did you go to a certain college? Do you like a competitor's restaurant? Do you want to target your competitor's friends? Are they connected geographically to you? It's amazing the type of audiences that you can create within Facebook to use and market. It's ultimately like the most expanded credit card application there ever is. And it's all because Facebook is starting to take all these data points and record them. They're almost doing the work for you. So here's how that looks. Whether it's promoted posts, a like ad, display ad, or offer claims, if we target friends of your existing fans, key social contact data will accompany this to let potential new fans know who of their friends is already a fan. And let's look at this example, Birchbox. So Heather likes Birchbox, and so do 13 other friends. I'm sure we've all seen it in a feed, one of those crazy cat videos that one of your friends likes. How many times have you clicked on that? How many times have you clicked on a feed because your friend liked it? So whether, again, it's a promoted post or a like ad or display ad, when your friend likes it, they're influencing you to like it also. So you can see over here, Kimberly likes the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. She's had 46 likes and 2 comments, and more important, look at that, 19 shares. That's pretty powerful. So back to creating those custom audiences. Another cool thing we can do is target Facebook ads to people who have visited your website in the past or within a certain time period. Even better, we can clone those custom audiences, or known as a lookalike audience. And our social media director actually likes to call them doppelganger audiences. Facebook will match up your existing databases that we take from OpenTable or your email service with similar people on Facebook. And what does that mean? So if I like action movies and I like this type of restaurant and I like this type of book, it's going to find up to 6 key data points of friends that like that too. So we can clone that audience and target to them. Pretty powerful stuff. Also, we can create a lookalike or doppelganger audience based on your existing fans. So again, it's going to use up to 6 key data points to make that determination. And why does that benefit you? Because you're constantly able to gain new fans, so you can leverage their data, find more fans. More important, because it's digital, we track everything. And this is where it actually matters. You want to get butts in the seat. You want to sell more gift cards. You want to sell more product. And by now, things are getting a bit complex. So you got to ask yourself this question again. Should the hostess or bartender be doing this for you? And are they constantly tracking the conversion? Because at the end of the day, if you're spending dollars, you want to know what you're getting out of it. You want to know that a person made a reservation. You want to know that they actually bought that gift card. We use a lot of different tools to make sure that we're tracking proper conversions. This example here is using Google Analytics. So we tie in Google Analytics, Facebook Analytics, and third-party metrics to make sure everything we do on a consistent basis is being tracked. This actual example is from May 17th to June 16th of this year. In the past 30 days, this particular client has sold $9,400 worth of gift cards. Pretty impressive if you ask me, and this isn't even our highest grossing client. So imagine, what's capable for you. Let's talk about birthday targeting. Birthday targeting lets you create ads that are targeted to people who have a birthday in the next week. This helps you create highly relevant ads or highlight special discounts, offers, or promotions that are available to people on their birthdays. But if you have a birthday, say, recorded in OpenTable, that's in June, we could actually market to them in July. I'm sorry. So if they have a birthday in July, we can market to them in June, a month in advance. And I know you can do this on email, but the targeting that you're able to do via Facebook with a suggested post in the feed that looks like a normal story running, so it doesn't look like it's an actual ad. Basically, you're reminding them, hey, why don't you plan your birthday at so-and-so restaurant? Or if you book now for a party of 5 or more, we'll save you $50. It's suggestive selling. You can actually run that ad over a period of however many days you like. So it'll be shown to, a week or 2 weeks. And for example, if you've got people with a January 1st birthday, they may see the ad for a week leading up to January 1st. People with the January 2nd birthday will see an ad leading up to that day. It's pretty powerful stuff. Let's talk about retargeting. I'm sure many people have actually had this happen to them and they just didn't know what it is. How many times have you gone to a website, say Amazon, you put some products in your cart, you didn't actually purchase them, and then you went to, say, CNN or Yahoo or ESPN, and you started to see that actual product, in a display or an ad. Or you went to a car manufacturer, maybe Ford, and then you started to see Ford advertisement. That's called retargeting. And what that's meant to do is get the customer back because they didn't complete an action. This can happen across your website. This can happen across social media. It can happen across Twitter. And it closes the gap on the sale. So say they went to your website, they didn't make a reservation, you can bring them back in. Maybe they didn't purchase that gift card they were thinking about. They've added it to the cart, but they didn't finalize the sale. Let's go ahead and bring them back to your website through retargeting and help you close that sale again. It's taking things to the next level. It's intent-driven, audience-suggestive selling. Here's the important thing to know, though. You really have to use paid amplification to get any exposure. Facebook has completely changed its model. It used to be that it was all organic, and if you had 1,000 friends and you posted, a good percentage of those people would see it. Well, recently, Facebook obviously went to a pay-to-play model. Many companies have sunk a ton of money into gaining likes and assuming, even though it's never been the case, and Facebook never promised this, that they would always be able to reach those fans for free. But now organic reach of your post on Facebook, fans have dropped considerably to as little as 8% according to Ogilvy Social. Bottom line again, you have to pay to play. You must amplify your content to be seen. And what we can see here is out of all the page reach and page likes. The good news is you can target those posts with the promoted post and not just to your current fans. This is advertising with the most sophisticated targeting we've ever seen. With costs about 32 times more affordable than TV or radio, you can start at just $1 a day. Here's an example of a client of ours where you can see that doing a promoted post earned them 530 likes, 75 comments, and a fantastic 97 shares. That equaled to 30,384 total people reached with this post. What I want everyone to be aware of is this particular Georgia Reese restaurant is actually owned by a former Colts player, Indianapolis Colts player. and we did two different types of ads. We targeted one that they either had to like the Indianapolis Colts, or we targeted another group that had to like Southern type of cooking interests. And what we found is that actually the Southern cooking interest got us more traffic than the Indianapolis Colts did. So you can kind of see again for the restaurant, a celebrity doesn't necessarily make it better when targeting. That paid engagement is going to help all the posts coming to it and rise above the organic aspect. You would never be able to get 530 likes organically without paying for this particular one. But I want you to take note of the right side example. If you don't know what you're doing, you can waste a ton of advertising money and not get any profits. I'm sure you've said, well, I'll just click on the little boost icon. If you're paying to promote a post, don't just click the boost, because that's the lazy way to boost to get fans and friends. If you're doing that, you're spending too much. You can't count on the fact that your fans' friends even live in the same city. Quite frankly, a lot of my friends live in different cities, and if I boost that, what's the point of them seeing it? Doing effective ads means taking the time to analyze your audience and know the ways to best target special interests. Trust me, leave it to the pros. So without a doubt, Facebook advertising is the greatest opportunity in online marketing right now, bar none. The potential profit is easily 2 to 3 times better than AdWords or SEM. And for those that don't know SEM, it's search engine marketing. As I've shown in several examples here in this presentation, you're able to run display ads and promoted posts, which are what shows up in the news feeds. You can also run special offers that people can claim. You can even use Facebook ads for like acquisition to grow your fan base, using those custom audiences, getting the right people to actually see you. What's the point of getting someone that has no interest in actually coming into your restaurant? And as I've mentioned, we can leverage the influence of your existing fans every time we grow that larger by directing our paid promotions at friends of fans so that the stories in the news feed include social context about people's friends. And probably most importantly, we can use these ads for off-site linking to drive people directly to your reservation page or to the gift card buying page, or even to the products if you happen to sell any from your website. Facebook gives you the ability to learn more and more about your customers than you've ever known, which means you'll be able to do all your marketing in all channels, even traditional ones, better than you could. It's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel. So another way to use paid ads on Facebook is for recruiting. And we all know that the employees make or break your business. Here's an example we ran for a client who was hiring for both front and back of the house. And note the interest categories that it's picking up on the data people have on their Facebook pages. Cocktail waitress, line cook, bartender, food server. We're able to then target with a certain mile radius to the location and age 21 and over. And we ran this as a dark post. So those that don't know what a dark post is, it means it didn't show publicly. This way, we could control who saw it and keep the tire kickers out. The link to submit a resume received 250 clicks at a cost of only 33 cents per click, which is fantastic. The client only spent $47 and earned 13 shares on the post additional to the reach. And a big bonus, they even gained 29 new page likes from the campaign. We were eventually told to stop the ad because all the positions had been filled. So I know everyone's tried Craigslist and LinkedIn and other job posting areas. Can you imagine targeting specifically the people you want to hire? It's amazing. And I just want to let it known, some other platforms for a more holistic approach that we work within is Twitter, email marketing, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and organic SEO. But none of these will work unless content is being created for them. If we're unable to control the content, then we're unable to control the message that's being seen. Along with that, Instagram is a fantastic avenue. Restaurants need to share your pictures. You need to create contests on Instagram. So we don't have any products to sell you, even though we do partner with some cool companies. We simply get it, and it's proven by our experience and our success. So I hope you enjoyed this webinar. We are going to make it available for download. And if you have any questions, we'd be more than happy to give you a free digital assessment. Thank you. Oh, almost lost you there. I forgot about your free tip. Many people don't know this, but you can actually go to Google and use the Google URL shortener. All you need to do is go to google.com/URL, type in your reservation link from OpenTable, create a small URL, and that can be used in a Facebook post. That can be used in an email post or email newsletter. And what it does is it drives traffic to your own earned media, your own website, or your social media. I personally like to use Google, and the reason is it keeps a lot better tracking, especially when you tied it into your analytics. You can see the example here that it tracked from Facebook. It tracked from the mobile Facebook, and also what type of browser. So within 4 days, this particular link got clicked 6 times. Thanks everyone for joining, and we hope you received a lot of new information.